Welcome to the Rotary Club of Hudson. My name is Tom Tobin, president of the club, and we're thrilled to have you join us today. This meeting broadcast is available on HCTV as well as our Rotary of Hudson YouTube channel. Our club meets weekly at Laurel Lake for breakfast on Wednesday mornings from 7:15 to 8:30. Come out and join us for a meeting. We would love to have you as a guest. To learn more about Rotary, our club, and the impact we're having on our local community and the world, visit our website, rotaryhudson.org. Enjoy the meeting today and help us share the message that Rotary connects the world.
All right. Welcome, everyone. I'm filling in for Ron Strobel, so I'm the acting Sergeant at Arms. Ron has the sniffles this morning, so he can't be here. I know. And it's filmed, too, so Ron's going to hear me say that. First of all, we have a very high level pastor coming up here to do our prayer. So, Joe, welcome, Joe Boisel.
The talent. You know, that's what happens every Sunday, too, when I walk up. It's really great. Way to make me feel at home. Yes, would you please stand and we pray together. Almighty God, it's only by your mercy that we come to the beginning of this new day. We ask that you would assist us in the same, to be ever mindful of your presence, ever mindful of the needs of those around us, and always eager to do your will. We ask these things in your name and for your glory. Amen. Amen.
Thank you, Joe. In case you didn't notice, he does have socks on today. So, you know, when I got in my car this morning, it's so stinking cold that all 3 out of my 4 sensors on my tires were on. And amazing, I still made it here. But Phil, would you like to? Phil is one of our new incoming members from the Hudson City Schools. Would you like to come do the Pledge of Allegiance and the 4-way test?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Okay, join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. I still have to cheat to look at this, so I haven't. Don't quite have it yet. All right.
First, is it true? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? And fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? All right. Nicely done. Well done. Better than most.
Thank you, Phil. You can check those 2 things off your to-do list. And I guess Chris Barker said there's no guests today. You have no friends today here, huh?
We have speakers.
Okay. Well, we'll introduce them when the time comes. We do have a lovely lady all the way from Carousel that's going to do the song for the day, Catherine Signs. Thank you, Catherine.
Good morning. This week being Veterans Day, we have a tribute from the 2nd grade class at Ellsworth Hill, and also we'd all like to say thank you to all the veterans in the room. Thank you. Thank you, Dave.
What can you say to a hero, to someone who's always there? What can you say to a hero, to someone who makes life to care?
just want to mention, some of you might recognize the first little soloist there. She's been in every Veterans Day, Memorial Day parade here. I'm not Veterans Day, Memorial Day parade in my car or in Ron Strobel's car. That's my granddaughter.
I was going to say, Catherine, I think there's a few proud grandparents and parents in that room there. But there is hope seeing that. There is hope in these kids, I tell you what. That's beautiful. And before you all sit down, if you haven't played Road-A-Buck, reach in your pocket, pull out $2 and hand it to Stu before we play today. And now for our acting president, Tom Tobin.
Yeah, we'll just cut out the middleman, Stu, okay? All right? Yeah, just give it right to him. By the way, if Catherine didn't mention it, her granddaughter was singing to her husband, Bob, who was one of the veterans, which was really a special moment. Would you say there were probably like 30 veterans there, maybe more? More? And probably another couple hundred parents and family members, even younger siblings, yeah, a couple board members and everything like that. Of what? Of veterans? Absolutely. I'd like to offer a salute to all of the veterans that we have in attendance this morning. If you'll please stand up, I would like to salute you. And a particular salute to, and not that I want to pick on any particular one, but Stu Murray, a hero of mine, a member of the greatest generation and World War II vet, United States Naval Academy graduate, a great man, and a lucky son of a gun, too. Okay. Let's see. And by the way, I just wanted to mention one other thing. The music teacher at Ellsworth Hill is a woman named Hong Lee. Now, I've been watching her lead this program, I think, for as long as I believe Ellsworth Hill has been around, which has been 10, 11, 12 years, something like that. She does this program that what you saw is maybe about a tenth of the salute that these students do for our veterans. It is an amazing, it's probably one of my favorite parts of being involved in the school is to watch these kids perform each year and express their appreciation to our veterans. I think you all, should be, get a great sense of pride of what we're teaching our kids through this. All right. I also, in the way of pride, I just wanted to also call out one other thing. James Field and I were down at the Ohio School Board Association conference over the last few years. There were a lot of people there that were asking about Catherine. They missed her a great deal. And Phil Budo was there too, Phil Herman and the entire administration. We had a good time. We learned a lot. We also got a chance to meet a young woman named Heather Yee, who is Richard Nebbiolo here today? He isn't. But anyway, this is Richard's daughter, who is serving on the school board of the Wyoming City Schools down in near Cincinnati. Very nice woman. Obviously cares a lot. Hudson High School class of 1993. It made us all very proud to see her using her time and talent to promote education. We were very proud of her. Let's see. Next, I was going to mention Santa on the Green. I forgot this morning to bring the clipboard back with me. So I know there's probably a few folks here who haven't seen it yet. I'm going to make sure that that'll be December 7th once again, so we still have some time to do it. But I'm going to get an email out today to let you know who took what slots and what slots are still open. And then if you could just respond to me if you want to take a slot, I would appreciate that. So look for an email from me on that. You'll also be receiving an email from me in the near future to RSVP on this event that I've mentioned, which will be December 5th. Location still to be confirmed, although I do have one spot in mind. But this is the event where we're going to be, Tom Speaks is from the Impact Group is going to be leading us in approximately a half an hour effort it's a focus group around the strategic planning process that the school district is going through right now. They really want Rotarians' input on this, and I told them I'd do my best to wrangle together a good representation of us. So if you would circle that date, December 5th, and that would be probably around 5:30 in the afternoon. And it's going to be there's going to be a social aspect to it too. So I'm going to ask you to bring spouses, significant others, etc. All right. I would like to ask Tom Page to come on up and give us just a couple of his thoughts about the fall fundraiser.
Just a couple? No, I don't have the answer on the cheese corn, but I'll have it probably by today. We got a good start. About 1/10 of the group has responded, so I've got some money and some orders. So does anybody need a handout? I have some back at my chair. If not, I'll send out a reminder. I know your captains have been getting a hold of you, and I think Liz has been making some phone calls. And so, any questions? Phil? Say that again?
If we contribute cash, what would that amount be in lieu of the flowers or the?
$100. $100? But you can put more in if you want. Thank you very much.
Hey, Tom, did an email come out on this?
Yes, it did. About 2 weeks ago.
I have not.
You didn't get it?
No.
Okay. But I've got something I can give you right now, and I will.
All right.
We're going to get you all learned up on this, Jim. All right. Speaking of learning, Mike Swain would like to give us a few thoughts about service learning class.
Just a quick heads up, it's that time of year again where we have Rotarians participate in the presentations of the students in the student learning classes and monitor those presentations and give their input. It's a fun thing to do and very beneficial, and it shows the close linkage between our Rotary and the Hudson High School service learning program. So look for an email from me within the coming few days, which is going to be a sign-up deal, and it'll give the schedules of the presentations and all of that. That's the same routine that Gail Royster used to do each year, so that'll be coming out in just a couple of days.
Okay. And Mike, I may be jumping the gun here a little bit, but I mentioned last week that if we possibly can work with the Service Learning class on the bell ringing activity at Acme, if that's something that we could find out. Great. So you'll get back, if it's doable, you'll get back to us with kind of like a sign up for that. Okay, good, thank you. All right, I'd like to ask Bill Wooldridge to come on up and say a few words.
Before I get into what I wanted to talk about, I have to say I get a lump in my throat when I hear those young or see those young kids singing like that. We are so blessed in Hudson to have such a wonderful school system, and Catherine and Phil and of course Phil Herman are all Rotarians, but we really do have an outstanding school system. The reason I'm up here today is I want to thank and recognize someone who's very special to me, a good friend, who has served Hudson. Gosh, he started out on the Planning Commission, then he was on City Council, he was president of City Council, and most recently was our mayor. David, could you stand up just so, I know everybody knows you, but. David's been a good friend. He's been a good friend, a great associate to work with on council. He's always been steadfast. He's always served to the best of his ability, and I must say that ability is very high. He's just been a wonderful guy to work with, and I really, really appreciate it, David. I've appreciated working with you. And I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Bill. That was great. And, you know, once again, another personal hero of mine, David Basil. Amazing service above self. All right. The next topic. We have a club board of directors meeting today in the, help me out, what's it called again? Greenwood small dining room. All club members are available. It'll be from 8:30. We'll hopefully get it done by 9:30. Please attend. All right. And then next, if I might ask Marilyn to come on up. And,
Good morning, Rotarians. It was 11 degrees out there this morning. Serena is wearing 2 pairs of socks. Okay. This is not weather she's accustomed to, but she's got a heavy coat. She's got gloves. She's prepared, and she's been taking lots of photos to share at home. So we're going to hear about her home this morning. So, Serena.
Hi. Oh, here. Okay. I will show you all where I live. Okay. This is Spain. I know all know this. And this is Africa.
let me give her a mic. Hang on one second.
Oh, thank you.
This might make things a little easier.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. This is Spain, this is Africa, and these islands, I live in this one. Okay. I'm used to see this. No snow, never. Okay. I will show you a lot of photos. Here we have snow, but in the volcano, and it's so beautiful. Beaches and more beautiful things. Oui. Okay, this is my family. He is my brother, Lucio. He's 22. And she is my mother, Fabiola. And this is again. This is my dog and my cat. His name is Roque, and his name is Paris. And they are so friends. Here. Okay, in my island we have mountain and beaches. We have the two things, and one point of the island to the another point, it's like only 1 hour. 1 point, 2 points, okay. And these are my friends. She is a German exchange student. She went to my island with Rotary, and she was so friend. Yes, no, she is so friend. And this was my last day in my island in the beach with my friends. And this is all. And I will tell, in my free time, for example, I surf and I do aquatic sports and I dance and I don't know. Finish.
Thanks, Serena. Serena, do you have any idea what the temperature would be in your hometown right now?
I will see.
Oh, she will see. She'll get back to us with a weather report. This always drives us a little bit crazy to hear about what's going on in Florida or Arizona or things like that.
No.
73 degrees. Right now, in the morning.
Right now.
Oh. Okay, tell us the name of your island once again.
Tenerife. Tenerife.
Tenerife. do we have any questions for Serena?
What's your brother do?
Here.
My brother is lifeguard, and he's study to firefighter.
Firefighter?
Yes.
Okay. You look like a male model. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Amy, here.
Another question is, when you had any choice to go on your exchange, how did you choose the United States and Hawaii?
Let me just repeat. How did you choose the United States, but for the audience, because we record this for television. So how did you choose to come to the United States?
Because I love United States. I love the movies, you know. This is a movie. I live in a movie every day. I don't know. In the yellow buses in the high school, for example. These things are stupid things, but I'm happy.
Oh, well, you know, it's so interesting. Okay, so Jim, you've got a question?
What's the native language?
What is the native language of your island?
Spanish.
It is?
Spanish.
Spanish, okay. Okay. Do you know any other languages besides English?
I study German, but I don't know a lot, and French I study, but I don't know these two.
Okay, okay.
Only I can say I study.
So Spanish first, and then English is probably your
Yes.
next best now?
Yes.
Are you getting better all the time?
Yes.
Yeah, good,
Yes.
good.
Where are your grandparents from?
Where are your grandparents
Okay, I'm from Argentina. I'm not from Spain,
Oh,
but I live in Spain.
oh, okay.
I'm from Argentina, and my grandparents are in Argentina, and all my family is in Argentina.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. All right. Any other questions?
Tenerife's more like a movie than here.
Yeah, to us, Tenerife does sound more like a movie than, you know, I think I could do without the school buses. No, you know, that's not my favorite part of living in Northeast Ohio, but that's great. Well, thank you very much, Serena.
Thank you.
All right. And I want to remind everybody, we're trying to give Serena as rich a cultural experience as we can while she's here. So if you or your family have anything, any events or anything like that where you could include Serena in it, if you're going to a concert, if you're going to, I mean, I don't even know what sort of things, but you use your imagination, and then talk to Marilyn, I think, first. Yeah, we'll use Marilyn as our point person for conducting all those things, but that's great. Thank you very much. All right. So, next on our schedule, if I could ask John Adams to come on up and introduce our featured speaker today.
Good morning, Rotarians. Does it feel like everybody here this morning is going to get up to the microphone eventually and say something? It's just been a very long line of continuous speakers, all great. So I am pleased in our foundation month to have Amy Jordan of the Hudson Community Foundation joining us. And so out of respect, a quick bio. Amy joined Hudson Community Foundation in 2012 as the office manager. December 18, the board of directors elected her to be president to oversee and facilitate development and growth initiatives for the foundation. Prior to that election, she was director, donor services, and responsible for service to current and prospective donors, nonprofit organizations, facilitating operations of fund holder activities, and leadership to direct reports. Prior to Hudson Community Foundation, Amy spent 16 years with Century Graco in marketing, operation, and sales. Since leaving her position as Director of International Sales to raise her family, she provided independent contractor services to various corporate clients and volunteering in the community. Amy has a Bachelor of Science in Marketing from Kent State University. She's been a resident of Hudson for 19 years with her husband, Jim, and has 2 children that attend Hudson City Schools for 12 years and are now attending the University of Cincinnati. Please join me in giving a warm Rotary welcome to Amy Jordan.
Good morning. It's wonderful to be here. I know that there's been many before me that have shared with you about Hudson Community Foundation, so I hope today I provide to you a little more information that you didn't know before coming in this morning. As I look around the room, I see 5 of you that currently have funds with us, so thank you. Others in the room, I've worked with you in organizations as you are the representative for them with their fund. And then also I see members in the audience that have been recipients of grants. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here today. And what I'd like to do is start with a little bit of history. And thank you, though, John, for this opportunity to present at Hudson at your Rotary meeting this morning. I would like to recognize Phil Tobin and Bill Woldridge that are in the room today. Without them, we wouldn't have Hudson Community Foundation. Both gentlemen saw that they had the vision to see the value of a community foundation, and with that, I say thank you to both of them, because I too would not be here, and those that have been recipients from the Hudson Community Foundation, it would not have happened. So thank you to both of you. Yes. The Hudson Community Foundation is a gem. We're very lucky in our community to have this out. Oh, I went too fast. Sorry, let's go back. So to share a bit of history with you, HCF began in 2000 as a community foundation. It was especially for Hudson, one that would reflect the unique character and personality of the Hudson residents. In addition to the traditional charitable giving strategy that most community foundations offer, that which we have a large portion of donor advised funds that I am going to cover. HCF wanted to create the opportunity for donors and their families to experience the special satisfaction that comes from personalized family philanthropy, recognizing that for many, this would be their first exposure to family philanthropy. We wanted to be truly remarkable with a family experience, one that even their children and grandchildren would understand and take part in. I'm already experiencing that at this time, seeing the grandchildren involved with the grant recommendations from their funds. And there's one family who I actually ran a story, a bit of PR, that they are a family from Macedonia, but they have a fund with Hudson Community Foundation. Each Thanksgiving, they have 4 children, and at Thanksgiving, the 4 children with their spouses and grandchildren choose what charitable organizations would receive grants from the family's fund. And it's the children and the grandchildren that are presenting the grants to the recipients. So the grandparents and then the families are truly passing on this charitable giving. It's wonderful to see. The foundation has over 100 funds, and we've experienced significant growth in assets in the past 19 years, with 20 million in assets so far this year, beginning in the 3rd quarter. So that's really exciting. To remind you of our mission, that Hudson Community Foundation's mission is to enhance the overall quality of life in Hudson by increasing charitable giving, educating and connecting donors to community needs, and leading on community issues. Our vision is to be the partner of choice, assisting donors to achieve their charitable goals while helping your Hudson community. Values, trust, integrity, transparency. We also have the accreditation of community foundations. This accreditation program reinforces integrity, professionalism, and legal compliance by the charitable giving sector. The program is directed by the Community Foundation's national standards out of Washington, D.C. When you think of Hudson Community Foundation, there's actually 2 sides of the organization. One side is, sorry, I did this again. Sorry, that's what I just read off to you. That's our mission and value. This is our wonderful accreditation. I need to remember the clicker. Oops. So 2 sides of HCF here. On the left side, these are our donor funds. These funds are directed by donors that reflect their passion and causes. Our most popular, of course, is the donor advised funds. However, we do have memorial funds and designated funds in their name, and we've seen an increase in scholarship funds and by that saying that if any of you have an IRA and you have a required minimum distribution, if you are not using those living expenses and you've wanted to leave a legacy and support a Hudson student or any high school we can work with, open a scholarship fund so that you can be remembered. The other side on the right is our community funds, and these are funds specifically established for community benefit. The most that is our unrestricted, that's our NOW fund, and that's where we can quickly respond to community needs and opportunities. Our Hudson Forever Endowment Fund is what we're currently building, and that is to address future needs of our community. And we offer endowment funds for organizations that we're working with. And of course, one to highlight is the Hudson City School Student Assistant Endowment Fund that Mr. Bill Wooldridge himself started. Yes, give him a round of applause. From starting that fund, and in the past 5 years, it has helped over 300 students. And most recently, we had a presenter at our donor appreciation event that John and his wife Sarah hosted for us. And it was a mother that presented the story of how the fund helped them. Unfortunately, her husband, they had 2 children. One was a junior in high school and the other in the middle school. The husband became ill with cancer. He unfortunately, it was a quick passing, and the junior was accepted into New Dimensions class. If any of you in the room know of New Dimensions, there's a field trip that's quite costly, as well as he had many AP classes. The mother came to the school and wanted to find out if there was some type of payment plan. And what she discovered is the Hudson City School Student Assistant Fund. That young junior that became the senior, all of his fees were taken care of. He was able to attend New Dimensions and his APs, and he's gone off to begin his college career. So thank you, Bill. And we're going to continue to build that fund so that that outreach can increase to more students. Just speaking of a few funds there, these highlight the funds that we do offer, and any of these can be a named fund. Of course, I'm going to walk you through a donor advised fund because it's the most popular. Our community foundation is flexible. We can provide very personalized service. And you can establish funds in your name, and you can begin with as low as $5,000. I'm having a bit of trouble. Here's a quick example of how a donor advised fund works. Donors can create a personal legacy by establishing a fund in your name. We also have many donors who want to honor their family, as I discussed, and they establish the fund in the family's name. Businesses and other organizations have established funds with us as well, too. We offer, as I said, those named funds for starting at $5,000. All grants from the named fund today and in the future are awarded to charities in the name of their fund. That fund also grows tax-free with your financial advisor. You can stay with your financial advisor. They handle your investments and also help you choose what gifts to include in your fund. It's a great way for donors to always be remembered by how much they cared for others. The process is simple and quick. The donor can work with their financial advisor, as I said, choose what gift they want to use to open their fund. The recommended advisor manages the account, and the donor recommends grants to qualified U.S. public charities of their choice when they choose. For tax benefits, when you set up a fund, these are a couple. You avoid capital gains, immediate tax deduction. That gift to HCF, we're a public charity. No tax on the money after you've created the fund because, like I said, that fund will grow tax-free. That means you get to grant more dollars rather than going to taxes. Have I lost anybody yet? No. Everybody knows? Okay. Good, good. So key factors about Hudson Community Foundation is we are a low-cost investing option for our donors. The administration fees that you would pay with any fund that you set up stays here, and it benefits Hudson instead of a financial service company. Hudson Community Foundation is skilled in managing your charitable fund. We have the highest standards in stewardship, integrity, and respecting the donor's intent. We, as I said, are confirmed in compliance with the national standards of U.S. community foundations. We handle investment management, IRS filing, administrative responsibilities related to the fund. We offer donor tax advantages of charitable giving. Your organization's members may then concentrate on fulfilling the mission. You and your donors can add to the fund, your own personal fund or an organizational fund at any time, in any amount, through any variety of methods. It can be as simple as writing a check or as intricate as establishing a planned giving. A few of the organizations that have benefit I have at the bottom from our organization. This continues on the other side of HCF, and that's our outreach to the community. This is a quick snapshot of some of the local organizations that have benefited from our outreach, and you may even be involved in some of these organizations yourself. You ask, how does HCF accomplish that outreach? Well, we have 3 grant cycles during the calendar year, which the final grant cycle is open now and will close December 1st. When you think of applying, we award grants to charitable not-for-profit organizations located directly in Hudson or serving Hudson. And an example of that would be Salvation Army. It's based out of Akron. However, they have a Hudson office. With that Hudson office, they serve Hudson residents, so we support that Hudson office through Salvation Army, as well as there's another organization, Greenleaf, in Akron, that we support with grants, and they provide classes at the high school on suicide prevention. Grant applications are reviewed by the HCF Grants Committee, and final approval is made by the Board of Directors. The outreach for the community, this is all made possible from generosity of donors to the Community Foundation, primarily through our annual fund. The annual fund right now is open and operating, and we'll close that on December 31st. Community impact that we provided so far, as you can see up, since our beginning in 19 years ago, we provided $350,000 in grants to nonprofit organizations in or directly serving Hudson. We've assisted in the launch of many organizations that you're familiar with today. A few, Destination Hudson, Farmers Market, the Hudson City Schools Foundation, Hudson Memorial Stadium Fund, Hudson Community First, Leadership Hudson. With the Memorial Stadium, what was a little different there is we facilitated the accounting services and gift processing for all the pledges received. It was a large project. Bless you. We, I believe you know that the Hudson Community Foundation has completed the endowment fund for the fireworks. Our community will have fireworks in perpetuity, which is really exciting, being that we are the only, city in the state that will have that in Ohio, and the longest running in the state of Ohio. It is great. So thank you to the many donors, because that took over 10 years to accomplish. There were a few board members that were significant. We've had primary donors, individuals, families, organizations, and to complete that was extremely exciting for the city. We couldn't have done it without all of the giving. We help Hudson individuals, families, and organizations. They've given over $16 million to charities throughout their charitable giving, and that's throughout the United States. But $3.4 million has stayed here in Hudson from their funds. We've established the endowment that I talked about. That's the Hudson Forever, and we're continuing to build that so that we can meet future needs of our community. New this year, we are working in partnership with Hudson Community Service Association. Is anyone here from that organization this morning? Hi. It's been a pleasure partnering with you, and it's been exciting. We both launched our campaigns in September, and we've had great reception of building that fund. We will have an event on Thursday, November 29th, and that's the Home for the Holidays with the Hudson Merchants. We will have an event after the caroling at approximately 5 o'clock, and it'll be in front of Town Hall, where we will have some hot chocolate and cookies and just talk about the Holiday Lighting Fund and that we continue to need support, because if we want to continue to light the green each year, we continue to need those donations. It is privately funded. So I look forward to seeing you all on the green on the 29th. And if it's cold, don't worry, we'll have hot chocolate. This is our current 2019 annual fund campaign, and it goes through just a brief overview of what I just shared with you, and I ask you to join your neighbors in continuing to support Hudson Community Foundation's annual fund campaign. And the few bullets up there is what I've just reviewed is what we do and how we do it, and we can't continue without those donations. It's who we are. Another way to help is the other side of our business, and that is establishing a donor advised fund. If you're considering charitable giving, talk to your financial advisor about that. It's a quick, easy setup. You can also create a legacy. We have the David Hudson Legacy Society. We already have over $5 million committed in their planned giving. You can also match your gift. If any of you are working with an organization with a matching gift program, we accept those. So you can give our office a call. It's an easy process to set up. And I touched briefly on the IRA RMDs. If you are not using those completely for your living expenses, that is an easy way to set up a fund. It's tax-free. It grows tax-free. You choose when to grant and who to grant to, although it must be a U.S. public charity, 501c3 approved by our federal government, but we can work with you on that as well. It is a designated fund, so you designate the purpose. It gives you less flexibility as a donor advised fund, but we can help with that. And next, my little puppies are asking any questions, anybody? Can anyone stump the presenter? Because, yes, stump the puppy, that should be easy. But is any questions in the room? Yes.
When I first came to Hudson, I had heard about which is a student assistance fund. I didn't think there would be anyone that really needed it. But if you ever attended a board meeting, every time there's a field trip or something, board members always ask, what about the students that can't afford to go?
Yes.
And there are many, and that fund actually pays for the students to go to on the field trips who can't afford it. So
And that includes that's not just high school. I think everyone thinks that it's a whole school. So it's now the group that's going to Washington, D.C. So, you're right. And so it helps in other ways. And it's just, I'm learning now, spending more time at the high school, the number of families that need assistance. It's not those that fall under, the lunch program. It's those that have encountered an illness or a death. Also those that are now encountering divorce and that their, monthly income has decreased, but they still want that child to have the ability. And that's what this fund should be supporting, and we can only increase that giving by increasing the fund itself. So we're going to continue to promote it. I'm working with the group right now at the high school. I have a fundraising idea for them to fundraise, but let's focus on the school system and support the Hudson City School Student Assistance Fund. Thank you for your comment. Yes. Yes, of course. I knew you tried to stump me. You did it in my interview. Welcome.
Good morning, Amy.
Good morning.
Good morning, Rotarians. I couldn't pass this opportunity to thank Amy for coming up here. What she does for the community is really remarkable. And I'd like to mention the fact that, we're in Cleveland, we're very fortunate to have the very first community foundation. The whole community foundation movement started here in Cleveland in 1914. Cleveland was the very first community foundation. Now, there are about 700 community foundations in the country now that have come on since then. And when we designed the Hudson Community Foundation, we designed it in a way, and it is in fact different than all other community foundations in the country. It's just designed to be very, very focused on the donor and very, very focused on what the donor wants to accomplish in ways that the other community foundations are a lot more restrictive. In terms of donor advised funds, again, that was another sort of an early start with Cleveland. I think when I went with the Cleveland Foundation, we started the 3rd donor advised fund program in the country. And now there are 500,000 of them around the country. And if I mentioned this to you today, you'd really be surprised. Who do you think is the largest charity in the world? Fidelity. Primarily because of their donor advised fund. The 3rd largest is Schwab, and the 9th largest is Vanguard, all because of their donor advised fund program. So these things have really become very popular. And the program they have at the Hudson Community Foundation is the most flexible, far more flexible than any of the other ones in there. So if any of you are encouraging, I encourage any of you to think about establishing a fund at the Hudson Community Foundation. Excuse me. You will find it very, very rewarding, particularly as it relates to working with your children and your grandchildren. So I applaud Hudson Community Foundation, what they're doing over there, and I wish them all the very, very best. Amy, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
On the subject of, thank you, Phil, a donor advised fund, I had a new meeting last week, and it was with a resident and just wanted to know more about donor advised funds. Each time I shared a little bit about just the process, he would stop and say, wait, how do you do this? How can you do this? This seems so easy. And that's what it is. Yes, that's what he said, because he just was so surprised how easy it could be. The application's so simple also. It's easier than filling out a checking account, and we can have it set up 24 to 48 hours. So if it's something that you're interested, reach out, and I'd be glad to share, more information with you. So thank you for your time today. If my last slide shows here, I didn't click it. Maybe it isn't. Oh, thanks, Nathan. So thank you all.
Thank you, Amy.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you. So I was around at the birthing of Hudson Community Foundation, and I think probably before Amy was a little bit. So I also wanted to acknowledge at least 2 other members of our club who played an important role at the beginning of of Hudson Community Foundation. Our own Den Rich and Jim Hackney, who I believe were initial board members, played leading presidents. These guys, titles means nothing. I mean, these guys just, make things happen, don't they? And I'd also like to thank Hudson Community Foundation, particularly for the role it played in helping us accomplish the stadium project. I know, and John, the stadium project is near and dear to your heart as well. It made a huge difference in our school system, in student morale. It's just a fabulous thing, and we could not have done it without philanthropic people in our community and philanthropic infrastructure like Hudson Community Foundation provides. So thank you so much. All right, let's see. We have Rotabuck, I believe. Let's see. So this week we have a payout of $14 and a jackpot of $114. Let's see. So I'm sorry. If I could have Amy, if you'll pick a ticket for us. It has somebody's number. And the number is 2423. 2423. 2423. Ralph, all right. Ralph, come on up. Come on up. We'll have this verified by, I think I'm a deputy of the CPA firm of Warfield and something or another. Okay, and here's your money for today, and for the jackpot of $114, you'll please notice there is a black marble in there.
Okay.
All right, that's what you're shooting for. Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for playing. Try again next week. Thank you so much. All right. I want to remind everybody, so we're on John, what do we call this month? Is it a foundation month? So everybody we have, and we only have Rick Keller next week from PEGS Foundation, formerly known as the Margaret Clark Morgan Foundation. So he'll be giving us an update on what they're up to and all that sort of good stuff. Please, Catherine, go ahead. That was timely. We do not have Rotary the following week, which would be the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So next week's will, I believe, be the last one of this month. All right. As far as a quote of the week, I had one from John F. Kennedy this morning that relates to our veterans. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not the utterance of words, but to live by them. All right? And let's see, do we have any other comments for the good of the chapter? If not, go out there this week and make us all proud to be Rotarians, and I declare this meeting adjourned.